right, time for class. How to fix social programs in the United States 101. Yeah, this a bit of an epiphany. I've been thinking long and hard on this. I know I've talked about this a lot lately here on the program. And again, I've mentioned this before. I love social safety nets. I do. I think we should be helping our fellow human beings out. I've said this before. And some Mother Teresa quote. We have to understand that we all belong to one another. I also understand. I also understand the anger that people have when they see people abusing social safety net programs. I get angry with that as well because that's money that could be used to actually help people that really need it. Where have we gone wrong? I'm going to explain it to you right now. And this is where we've gone wrong as a country. Okay? You want to know now? You want the real make America great again? I'm going to give it to you. Okay? Trump's. This is what would make America great again. We're supposed to be, correct me if I'm wrong, a republic. Let me grab this here. This is for people watching on YouTube. I've done this before. Oh, yeah, from the great one, Ron Paul. Yep, Constitution of the United States. This is pocket Constitution. The word democracy, not in here. Sorry, the word democracy is not in here. We're a republic. Ben Franklin, republic, if you can keep it. We've given up on that. For most of the we really have. We've given up on that. Governors have become pushovers. We basically outsource community to Washington, D.C. That's what we've done. I want everybody to think about this for a second. If you were to take, I think I talked about this as well, the 50 states, and you were going to take a look at well, you know what? We'll call it 50 plus 1. 50 states plus Washington, D.C., the number one per capita GDP, most money being made in the country by far, Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. crushes every other state per capita GDP, if you want to even call it that. They don't produce anything. Why? Let's take a look at EBT. Let's take a look at the SNAP program. How dumb is it that we send our hard-earned tax dollars to Washington, D.C. to go through how many different fingers and people there to then have it returned back to our local community in order to help people in need? How do they know how our communities, they're smart enough to know what my town needs, what your town needs, what your city needs, what your village needs? No freaking way. I keep thinking of Cheech from Godfather 2. The family's got a lot of buffers. What they got in D.C. is a lot of buffers. A lot of people touching this money. How do you think they get so rich? We send all of our money there to them. They're the ones that run all of these programs, taking their VIG. It's not how this country is supposed to work. How did we get to this point in time? I'm trying. There had to be some point in time where we just said, local communities said, screw it. States said, screw it. We're going to have Washington, D.C. take over. And you watch this filter into every aspect of our lives. Now, you think about it. Again, me with my epiphany this morning. And thank God he helps me with these things. You think about back when we were younger, back when I was young. Okay. The importance of local news. Local news. You would have your local news program. Then you would have your national news program. And again, it's true. The local anchor, for crying out loud, he was kind of like the star within your community. It really was. Radio. I watch this, and I've been in radio for 25 years. Had a national show, and I've also done local radio. Do you know how many radio stations within your community have a drive time morning program and a drive time evening program? It used to be 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. local. They don't have that anymore. Everything's been outsourced to New York, outsourced to New York and Washington and Atlanta. National programs. What? We're supposed to be focused on our community. That was the brilliance of this country. But it's a republic. Local communities taking care of problems. Imagine your tax dollars didn't go to Washington, D.C. Imagine your tax dollars stayed within your community, didn't have to go through all of the buffers, and was handled within your community. You don't think that we the people in our own towns, in our communities, we're going to know how to help problems with people that are homeless, need food, are down and out? We don't think we can handle that better than the people in D.C., some bureaucrat jerk from D.C. They know better? No, we just waste. And we get these people rich. And then politicians become stars. We've turned politicians into rock stars, for crying out loud. Nobodies. I don't have any of these, all these people that they end up becoming influencers on TV. No, you used to care about your local community, what was done there. It made society better. It made it communal. We take care of one another. That's what that's what we used to do. That's what we're supposed to do. That's how the country is supposed to operate. You really want to make America great again. And good luck with this now, because it's big business. Big business. Everything returned to states. Return it all. Return it all. All the social programs run by the states, run by the local communities. Okay? You shut down freaking Washington, D.C. I can't stand Washington, D.C. People love it. I know Trump wants to build his new, archway, and I can't stand the place. I really don't. Everybody's different. I like European design cities, quite frankly, with the cathedral in the center. I like it in Italy better. Cathedral's the center of the town. Not the cathedral of unintended consequences, which we have in Washington, D.C. Communities should be solving these problems. Churches should be solving these problems, not bureaucrats. Until we get back to that sense of community, we're not going to make America great again. We're going to continue to send Washington, D.C., and we're going to continue to make those people in Washington, D.C. wealthier and wealthier. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.